Assalamualaikum, and hello everyone. Welcome back to Dapur Nanny. Before we start, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support this channel. Your support means a lot and helps me bring more delicious recipes and inspiring stories. Today, while I'm frying Jemput-Jemput Udang, I'll be sharing with you an incredible story. The story of Prophet Nuh, Noah, peace be upon him, his struggles, the great flood, and how the world changed after it. So let's get started. How long did Prophet Nuh live? Prophet Nuh, Noah, is known as one of the longest living prophets. In Surah Al-Ankabut, verse 14, Allah tells us, "And indeed, we sent Noah to his people, and he remained among them 1,000 years less 50 years. Then the flood seized them while they were wrongdoers." This means that Prophet Nuh lived for 950 years, spending centuries calling his people to the worship of one true God, Allah. Imagine dedicating nearly a millennium to spreading a message, only to be met with continuous rejection. Despite this, Nuh never gave up. 1. The corruption of the people of Nuh. Prophet Nuh lived at a time when people had strayed far from the teachings of Allah. They worshipped idols, engaged in corruption, and had no sense of morality. The people had once been righteous, but over time, they started creating statues of their past leaders and eventually began to worship them instead of Allah. The main idols they worshipped were Wad, Suwa, Yagith, Yuluk, and Nasr, as mentioned in Surah Nuh, verse 23. And they said, "Never leave your gods, and never leave Wad or Suwa, or Yagith and Yuluk and Nasr." Nuh, chosen by Allah as a prophet, was sent to guide them back to the right path. He preached tirelessly, warning them of Allah's punishment, and calling them to believe in one God. 2. Nuh's patience in calling his people to Islam. For centuries, Nuh called his people to worship Allah alone. He spoke to them publicly and privately, using wisdom and kindness. He warned them that if they continued worshiping idols, they would face a great punishment. Allah mentions in Surah Nuh, verses 5 to 9, he said, "My Lord, indeed I invited my people to truth night and day, but my invitation increased them not accepting flight. And indeed, every time I invited them that you may forgive them, they put their fingers in their ears, covered themselves with their garments, persisted, and were arrogant with great arrogance. Then I invited them publicly, then I announced to them and also confided to them secretly." This means that Prophet Nuh tried every way possible to guide his people. He spoke to them gently, warned them firmly, and even prayed for their guidance. However, instead of listening, they mocked him, insulted him, and covered their ears so they wouldn't hear his message. 3. The construction of the ark. After centuries of rejection, Allah revealed to Nuh that no more people would believe, and that he would send a great flood to destroy the wrongdoers. Allah commanded Nuh to build a massive ark ship, as mentioned in Surah Hud, verse 37. "And construct the ship under our observation and our inspiration, and do not address me concerning those who have wronged. Indeed, they are to be drowned." Although Nuh was not a shipbuilder, he followed Allah's command and started building the ark in the middle of dry land. The disbelievers laughed at him, saying, "How can a ship sail in a desert?" They mocked him every single day. But Nuh ignored them and continued his work, knowing that Allah's command is always true. 4. The great flood begins. Once the ark was completed, Allah gave Nuh a sign. Until when our command came and the oven gushed forth water, we said, "Load upon the ship of each creature 2 mates in your family, except those about whom the word is preceded, and include whoever has believed." But none had believed with him, except a few. Surah Hud, verse 40. At that moment, water started gushing from the ground, and heavy rain began to fall from the sky. It was no ordinary rain. The flood kept rising, covering houses, trees, and even mountains. Allah had commanded Nuh to bring onto the ark. 1. His followers, who believe in Allah, pairs of every animal, so they could repopulate the earth after the flood. His family, except those who rejected the truth. 2. One of Nuh's own sons, however, refused to believe. When Nuh saw him struggling in the flood, he begged him to board the ark, saying, 3. O my son, come aboard with us and do not be with the disbelievers. Surah Hud, verse 42. But his son replied, I will take refuge on a mountain to protect me from the water. Surah Hud, verse 43. Nuh warned him that no one could escape Allah's decree, but before he could say more, a giant wave came and drowned his son. This moment was one of the greatest tests for Nuh, a father watching his son choose disbelief over faith and suffer the consequences. 5. The end of the flood and the ark rests on Mount Judy. After the flood had wiped out all the disbelievers, Allah commanded the rain to stop and the earth to swallow its water. The ark finally came to rest on Mount Judy, as mentioned in Surah Hud, verse 44. And it was said, O earth, swallow your water, and O sky, withhold your rain. And the water subsided, and the matter was accomplished, and the ship came to rest on the mountain of Judy. After many days, Nuh and his followers stepped out of the ark and began a new life on earth. This was a reminder that Allah's promise is always fulfilled, and those who remain steadfast in their faith will be saved. Lessons from Prophet Nuh's story. 1. Patience and perseverance. Nuh spent 950 years calling his people to Allah, never giving up despite their constant rejection. 2. Trust in Allah's plan. Even when things seem impossible, Allah's wisdom is greater than what we can comprehend. 3. The importance of faith. Only those who believe in Allah were saved. No matter how strong or intelligent someone thinks they are, only faith in Allah can protect us. 4. Allah's mercy is greater than his punishment. Even though the disbelievers were punished, Nuh still made dua for their guidance. Conclusion. The story of Prophet Nuh is a powerful reminder of patience, faith, and trusting Allah. Just like how he never gave up, we should also stay strong in our beliefs and never lose hope in Allah's mercy. If you enjoy listening to Islamic stories while watching my cooking vlog, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Dapur Nanny. See you in the next video.